Hey y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm Susan, your hostess. This is the last episode for me for the January Pantry Challenge 25. It's an open collaboration. It ends today. And I appreciate Nancy with Our Treasured Home for jumping on board and putting out a video for this. With that said, I'm going to talk about what I will and will not can in the future for my pantry. I've only got one item that I won't can again, and that's sweet potatoes because they came out really soft. Kind of hard to drain all that liquid off of them and get something good out of it unless you're making a pie. So that one is out, and I didn't like them in the syrup. I tried them both in the syrup and in the water, and they both were just really soft. So I won't be doing that again. I will be trying to can some mushrooms if I can catch them on sale, homemade mustard, and maybe a little bit of rebel canning that I can fit into most of the guidelines. Now, rebel canning sometimes is outside, well, it is outside the guidelines, but there's a lot of canners out there that have used recipes for years and years and years with no issues. Those are the ones I'm talking about. I'm going to show you some items out of my pantry. This is barbecue shredded chicken. I did not like the texture of this. I still got several jars of it. We're going to eat it up, but this is not something I will be canning again unless I figure out a way to can it without having to cook the meat first. It was a long process. It took 2 of my crock pots to do, and I just didn't like the final result. I will be doing some jams and jellies. Right now I have a pantry load of them, so probably not this year. I like fruit. If I can get fruit in season at a reasonable cost, I will definitely can that. I like doing pie filling. This is an apple pie filling that I did, and y'all, it's yummy. So I will be doing that again. I'll do condiments like ketchup, barbecue sauce, pizza sauce, chow chow, cowboy candy relish, cowgirl candy relish, spaghetti sauce, enchilada sauce, and hot sauces, among just a few that I have on my pantry shelves already. I will be canning meat again. This one is Italian sausage. I partially cook it first, then I jar it up without adding any more fat in there, and you see the fat content in that still. So I will definitely be canning more meat in the future. I found that meat is such a convenience food when it's on the pantry shelf, and the life shelf span on it increases it tremendously. I'll can fermented foods like pickles and homemade sauerkraut. I will definitely can that again. We liked the sauerkraut, and I have my signature pickle recipe that I make every so often. This is a dry soup mix that I keep on my pantry shelf. I do like doing dry meals in the jar. And so that is a meal in a jar, and I have the instructions and everything on there. I also liked canning mixed vegetables. I did this for the first time. We liked the flavor of it, and I could easily add this to a small pot of soup or have it as a side or make a pot pie with it. Here's my pickles. They are pretty. These are from 2021. I also like canning my own soups. Soups, spaghetti sauce, and things like that that I might make a meal out of, but I don't add any pasta to. I will definitely, and pasta, starches, things like that that I don't add to it. I will definitely can it if I have enough of it left over. If not, it goes into the freezer. And yes, we do have freezer, and I do say freezers full of food that needs to be processed and have a place to put. I also like canning dry beans or fresh beans. This one is purple whole peas, and I can it with a little piece of fatback or ham or whatever I have on hand. And it's just a convenience to go in there and grab a can of this off the shelf for a quick and easy meal. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the canning flats. I prefer the blue sealed canning flats. I can't think of the name of them right now. Superb. I prefer those. And then my second choice would be these Tatler canning lids with the gasket. I prefer these, y'all. It's been on there since, see if you can get it in the light, 22, y'all. Since 2022. So 3 years and it's still sealed. It's still good. And I prefer those. I'm going to be using some of those in future videos here in a short, because I found my box that I've been looking for 4 years, y'all. Been looking for the box for 4 years, couldn't find them. Found them in the corner of my pantry. So I was excited about that. I use my deep freezers for anything that I get in, like meats. Some vegetables out of the garden I can't can. Squash does not can well unless you're doing a relish. And some other things like eggplant. I don't want to put eggplant in a jar. It just doesn't even sound appetizing. So those are some of the things that I will can. I will freeze. And I do freeze some meal items in there as well. I'm going to start freezing cooked potatoes, cooked rice, cooked noodles to see how it does with my blood sugar, because it's supposed to become a resistant starch, or part of it's going to become a resistant starch, and my body will not react to that sugar like it will fresh. So we're going to try that out, and y'all will be seeing that in future videos as well. So let's see, dehydrated items. Dehydrated vegetables, mixed vegetables like this. I have bought them in the store. Boiled them or partially cooked them and dehydrated them and put them in jars for my meals in jars. So they come in handy. Onions, um, potatoes, things like that, carrots. And there's a whole slew of foods I could be dehydrating. I've also dehydrated beans. I've cooked beans. I might have made a big pot of beans with no meat. And then I decided, well, I'm going to rinse these off and I'm going to dehydrate them because they're already cooked, and all I have to do is rehydrate them and put them into a dish like a hamburger helper. And that would be a quick meal. So another meal in the jar idea. I like doing the bread mixes in the jar. And I like doing meals in jars. And I like doing the sourdough breadcrumbs or sourdough croutons and putting them in jars as well for salads or for breading, something like that. And my fresh store larder items would be butternut squash. It does very well in our pantry because our pantry stays cool year round. Potatoes do fairly well. Sweet potatoes do well. I haven't tried carrots and apples, but that's something on my list that I want to find a spot that I could put some carrots and maybe some fresh apples or pears or something like that into the larder. And onions and garlic do very well in the larder. So that is basically all of the things that I'm going to show you today. Um, I won't be using the 4-jar canning lids ever again. They lie to you on the website. It says it's a USA product, but it's made in China, so they don't tell you that. So I won't be using them again. I won't be buying canning lids off online because so many of them are flimsy and they come from China. Uh, I have better luck with the ball canning lids. I don't even know if you can get curved canning lids. I've got some harvest time or harvest something canning lids that do okay. Uh, and I do have some off-brand ones that we got from our local feed stores, and they do very well. And Yoder's carried an off-brand of the superb canning lids that has the bread gasket, and they did very well. So I do have some remaining um, canning lids that I won't be canning with, but I can dry can with them. So I recycle and reuse my used flats and my bands all the time on dry goods. I use oxygen absorbers, bay leaves, and I use my food saver attachment to draw out all the oxygen out of jars for long-term storage, and I use the 5-gallon buckets. That's my pantry. What's in your pantry, and what do you like, and what did you can, and what do you not want to ever can again? Let me know in the comments. I'm interested in finding out. Thank you for watching this little series, this little collaboration called January Pantry Challenge 25. Be blessed, everybody.